of the multiple award-winning The Queen Sylvie Show. You want to expand and get noticed? Then come outside your box and into our world. Internet advertising has a real impact on global awareness and even sales, so let's make an impact together. Offering for a limited time advertising and sponsorship packages that excel your purpose. So contact Queen Sylvie or Smooth Tim for the exciting opportunities that awaits. Yeah. The Frida's Cleaning Service is a small family-owned business established in 2003. With over 17 years of professional, high-quality, and greatly satisfied service, the Frida's Cleaning Service will get the job done. Specializing in sanitizing your home, business, post-construction, and commercial cleaning, no job's too big or small. See for yourself and give us a call, 567-249-9172. La Frida's Cleaning Service. Our reputation is always spotless.
It used to be hard for this family to run and play in their yard. That big pooch left its business all over. Dad would spend his time cleaning up puppy messes. Now, I make sure the yard is clean so they can play without worry. Yes, there really is a poop fairy.
Do you have questions about buying or selling a home, not sure if you qualify? Your local real estate agent, Antoinette Ware, is here for you. Do you live out of town, moving out of town, or looking for investment property? Well, let's work together and make it happen. Antoinette Ware can be reached at 419-917-6258. The name you know, celebrating over 20 years, serving Toledo and surrounding areas.
Hey, it is Smooth Tim, and thank you for dropping by and spending another Thursday, another Wednesday hump day with me on Tim's Tidbits. I surely appreciate you all tuning in, and thank you so much for doing so. Hey, in any regard, we still got a lot going on around the world. It's been an interesting week. Really has been, between the hush money trial in New York, and that got kind of interesting. Y'all can keep up with that on some of this. I might cover a little bit of that, who knows, we'll decide here. And Donald said he was going to testify, but apparently his defense attorneys figured it best to keep him off the stand. That's hard to believe, right? Why would they ever want to keep Don off the stand? I do not know. Anyhow, hey, there's been all kinds of tornado outbreaks going on, and more apparently, we're going to be setting some type of records. So, I'm thinking about in prayers and thoughts going out to everybody that's affected by these tornadoes going on. Also, the president of Iran was killed earlier this week in a helicopter crash, along with some other dignitaries that was on the helicopter flight with him. I don't know if they've necessarily determined why and how that helicopter incident took place or what exactly happened, but we'll keep up with that also. We know that there's still conflict in Gaza, still conflict in Ukraine. So, hey, people, there's all kinds of things going on. We got to keep our eyes and ears on what's happening, because sooner or later, trickle-down effects are going to come our way. Indeed, it will. Anyhow, hey, let's get into that. Speaking of some trickle-down effect in what's going on over in Gaza, the International Criminal Court has decided they're going to file charges against Netanyahu and also Hamas, and take them to court for what they consider to be war crimes. What's happening over in Gaza? So check us out, man.
Breaking this morning, the International Criminal Court has announced it is seeking arrest warrants for Israeli and Hamas leaders, including Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. According to the ICC's chief prosecutor, the leaders are responsible, for war crimes and crimes against humanity in Gaza and Israel. The request still has to be approved by judges from the court. Meanwhile, Netanyahu is under growing pressure to make post-war plans for Gaza. Our MTS Tayeb has more from Jerusalem.
Good morning. Well, thousands of Israelis from across the country are currently making their way here to Jerusalem to call for a deal to release all of the hostages still in Gaza and for an end to the war. The rally comes as bitter divisions in Israel's three-member war cabinet spill out into the open. Benny Gantz is threatening to walk out unless there's a plan which would see Israel hand over post-war control of Gaza to another acceptable power. A plan Yoav Gallant, who's also part of the war cabinet, agrees with, saying leaving Israeli forces in charge would be a mistake. In response, Netanyahu defiantly insisted Israel will maintain open-ended security over the besieged Palestinian territory. But if the prime minister's partners walk out, he would then have to rely even more on the far-right extremist parties in his government, who are not only calling for the reoccupation of Gaza, but also the construction of Israeli settlements there. Now, further complicating things, we're learning that the International Criminal Court in The Hague are seeking arrest warrants for Hamas leader and October 7th attack mastermind Yahya Sinwar and Prime Minister Netanyahu on charges of war crimes and crimes against humanity. Anne-Marie.
MTS, thank you.
Well, there it is. Yep, war crimes. And I mean, a lot of it has to do with, the inhumanity that's going on both sides. You know, nobody's hands are clean in this whole operation, so something for us to keep an eyeball on and see why it's happening and what exactly is going on. Anyhow, to make matters even worse, the United Nations is and other countries are doing their best to supply the people in Gaza, the innocents, let's say just the people that has happened to be there. Now they're having to move to the north, to the south, and south to the north, east to the west, wherever the hell they might not be bombing that day. They've got these people running all over the place. Well, they're starving to death. They need food, they need water, they need clothing. And it appears that there's people sabotaging even that operation to try to extend a little humanity to these individuals that are suffering so severely. Check this out, too.
Israeli security forces are paid to stop this happening. They either could not or would not, but clearly did not prevent Israeli settlers attacking an aid convoy yesterday from the West Bank bound for Gaza, where, say aid agencies, hundreds of thousands of civilians face famine.
Around 70 Palestinian trucks, which were scheduled to go into the Gaza Strip, were targeted. After these trucks unloaded the supplies at the Takamea crossing, the aid was then taken by Israeli trucks to go into the Gaza Strip. But during the unloading and loading, settlers attacked these trucks, destroying the products and burning them in a systematic act of sabotage.
A continuation of images seen yesterday as settlers destroyed food at the same crossing point. The view of a British doctor inside Gaza today.
Food is literally running out here. There is completely inadequate humanitarian access. Everyone's heard the statistic of 500 humanitarian aid trucks coming into Gaza on a daily basis prior to October. There hasn't been a day that number has been met.
David Cameron wrote today, attacks by extremists on aid convoys en route to Gaza are appalling. Gazans are at risk of famine and in desperate need of supplies. Israel must hold the attackers to account and do more to allow aid in. I will be raising my concerns with the Israeli government. Almost no food has now entered Gaza from the main southern crossings for a week now.
Yeah, how cool is that? I mean, that's just utterly ridiculous, folks. Utterly, utterly ridiculous. And Israel may have the right to attack Hamas for what they did. And who knows what Hamas's reasons. I mean, they don't really put that out to us to understand why they felt the need to attack Israel. But in any regard, you know, there's a lot of innocent people that are in need of food, are in need of water, clothing, shelter. Man, they just keep moving them around in these little tent cities, and as you can see, you know, destroying everything in their wake after they're done. You know, these people have absolutely nothing, and they make sure that they take nothing with them. Now, that is definitely inhumanity. I can see where the International Criminal Court has an issue with what's going on there, and maybe they could scare them, sure, but at least maybe try to correct a wrong that's going on. Who knows? Speaking of some wrongs going on, over the weekend, there was an interesting post on Trump's Truth Social network, which has since been taken down, you know, because of the backlash of it in regards to its alluding to having a unified right in America, kind of like they had in Nazi Germany. Mm-hmm. Under the headlines of what's next for America, and then how Trump's going to have all of us together in a unified right, just like Heil, Nazi Germany. So, yeah, you check out what happened. He took down the post, but still, you know, how did it get there, and what the hell is going on, Don? You got to be posting this kind of stuff on your network. Besides the fact, the funny fact is, then in the first quarter of this year, you lost over $327 million on Truth Social. I think they brought in like 178,000, something like ridiculously low number of people that paid for advertising. But yeah, their actual losses this first quarter with Truth Social, the ex-competitor, $327 million in the hole. But look at the kind of crap that they put on there, and the kind of idealisms that the people that are, I guess, what do you want to call them, MAGA, Make America Germany Again.
The president is under fire for a video he posted on social media that used language from Nazi Germany. The latest in a series of anti-Semitic and authoritarian statements from Trump and his campaign. Rachel Scott has the story. Good morning, Rachel.
Hey, George, good morning to you. It is normal, of course, for presidential candidates to share videos with their vision for the country. It is not normal for those videos to have references to Nazi Germany and Adolf Hitler. The Trump campaign tells us this morning that this was a video that was shared by a staffer while the former president was in court, saying that staffer missed the reference. But as of this morning, that video has not been taken down. Former President Donald Trump sparking backlash this morning after a video posted to his social media account seemingly suggests there will be a unified Reich if he wins the 2024 election.
Donald Trump wins. What's next for America?
Those words are largely associated with Nazi Germany and Adolf Hitler's Third Reich, another name for his Nazi regime. The 30-second video features hypothetical newspaper articles of Trump celebrating a victory in November. That phrase appearing 3 times, including under the headline, "What's Next for America?" It includes references to World War I, citing German industrial strength and peace through strength. Another headline suggesting Trump would reject globalists, a phrase often used by the far right as an anti-Semitic slur. In a statement, Trump campaign's press secretary says this was not a campaign video. It was created by a random account online and reposted by a staffer who clearly did not see the word while the president was in court. But the campaign has not deleted the post.
Right.
And it's not the first time Trump has used language similar to what Adolf Hitler once wrote. Just months ago, he declared immigrants are poisoning the blood of America.
They're poisoning the blood of our country. That's what they've done.
This morning, the Biden campaign issuing a statement saying Donald Trump is not playing games. He's telling America exactly what he intends to do if he regains power, rule as a dictator over a unified Reich.
Hang on to your buckles. Yeah, just hang on, folks. Yeah, this guy ain't fooling around. Do you think he's fooling around? Just wait. I mean, he's made the comments, and he rolls back on absolutely everything. He rolled back on the anti-abortion, right? Now he's trying to, lighten up a little bit on his rhetoric on that. We know where he stands. He's the one that overturned Roe v. Wade. He put the justices in there that did it. And, you know, they're talking about even banning the morning after pill or other type of birth control. So come on. Especially women. You want your rights? You be careful of this clown. You be careful of this clown. You know, as they always says, watch what he does, not necessarily what he says. Sometimes he slips up and tells the truth, and then he tries to cover up. But if you want a unified right in the United States, if that's the kind of government you want to be subject to, hey, there it is. There's your boy. Oh, man. Folks. Oh, yeah, another one, you know, I guess the next segment I want to call, let's call it the Bad Wives Club. This segment, we'll call it Throw Them Under the Bus. Because we have a Supreme Court judge and a senator who did just that to their spouses when they got called out, one for, the flying the insurrection flag at their home. That would be your Supreme Court justice. And the other for his collection of gold bars that seemed to have came from who knows where, but it seems to be both of their wives' fault. Why not just throw them under the damn bus, right?
Federal judges kept themselves beyond reproach. They never talked politics, ever. They actually took their oath seriously. The guy most likely to have had something to do with the leaking of the Dobbs decision. Leaking it to the Wall Street Journal, or somebody connected to him leaking it to the Wall Street Journal because he wanted to keep Brett Kavanaugh and Amy Coney Barrett frozen in place. For a guy who is a Supreme Court justice that let that happen at his own home in one of the most fraught times in American history since the Civil War, it's just sad. And it shows how little respect he has for the institution. It shows how little respect he has for the law. It really does. It's disgusting.
Senator Bob Menendez appears to be considering an interesting legal strategy in his upcoming bribery trial.
Here comes victim
Blame
number
it
2.
all on his wife and say that she kept him in the dark.
Yeah.
Very interesting. Fox 9's Teresa Priello joins us now in studio with a look at this tactic and how likely it is to actually work, Teresa.
Bianca, Natasha, I suppose that would be a question for the defense team, but I did talk to a former federal prosecutor today who says the senator is facing an uphill battle as federal prosecutors have seemingly built a very strong case against him, and still this may be the strategy that keeps one spouse out of federal prison. Senator Bob Menendez and his wife Nadine are often seen walking into court holding hands. But documents unsealed in federal court show New Jersey's senior senator may be looking to use his wife as a way to stay out of federal prison. While these explanations and the marital communications on which they rely will tend to exonerate Senator Menendez by demonstrating the absence of any improper intent on Senator Menendez's part, they may inculpate Nadine by demonstrating the ways in which she withheld information from Senator Menendez or otherwise led him to believe that nothing unlawful was taking place.
Okay, there you go. So there's the new move when you're into politics, is if you get caught doing something bad, blame it on the wife, throw her under the bus. Go on with your daily routine and don't worry about how they slander her, drag her through court, even if she goes to prison. You'll be okay because you'll still be serving your country. Or you could be one of the minions that show up to, the court trials in New York. That's crazy, too. I had a problem with that. Why do I have a problem with that? What are you doing in New York, sitting around on your duff, just trying to get a little bit of face time, just trying to get what? When you should be in the Senate passing legislation. But no, you're too busy playing Donnie's minion. Whatever. Anyhow, another thing that is getting me upset is the propaganda that's getting spread about the different standpoints on abortion. And that's going to be a touchy subject. Some people believe the right to life. Some people believe that everybody should have their own choice. And I believe also my personal beliefs, that there should be a limitation on exactly when, whether that be a 6-8 week ban, however they figure that, where a woman can actually make a logical choice before it's too late. But anyhow, if you would listen to the way that, Trump and some of the other Republicans put it out, it's like the Democratic or the left-wingers are just mad baby killers. It's crazy, and it's not true. So check this out.
Nobody wants to see abortion in the 8th month or the 9th month, or nobody wants to see execution after birth. You have a situation where Democrats, in many cases, will allow it, execution after birth, the 7th, 8th, 9th month, and after birth, execution.
The false conversation is so annoying about abortion, which is like they want to let you have unlimited abortion up to 9 months. 90% of abortions, over 90% of abortions happen in the first trimester. It's like something like 99% that happen in the first 20 weeks. That sliver, that tiny sliver, the reason why you can't legislate this is because it's doctor subjectivity, and it has to do with women or people who can get pregnant having adverse health effects or the fetus maybe being in jeopardy. Doctors are not giving abortions in the 8th month of pregnancy. That's a fantasy. That's not what's happening. And if they are, it's because the mother could die or the fetus is dying or non-viable.
Well, there you go. There's the statistics. 90% of the abortions in the United States are done on women within their first trimester, which would be up to, 12 weeks. After that, they show the statistics going way down, unless it happens to do with the mother and or baby's health. Who knows what the heck the complications could be going on. But again, before you accept some of these dialogue coming out of these people's mouths, look it up. Now you have the facts. When it comes to abortion, 90% of the abortions in the United States are done within the first trimester. This 8-9 months and after the born BS that Donald was up there spewing is just pretty much total bullshit. But it's kind of like what they just like to scare you into. And that's, a subject that I've talked about before, scare tactics when it comes to getting people to follow you and believe in you. You just tell them a bunch of lies about people, whether it's anti-Semitism or whatever the particulars are, just like in that ad that he had for What's Next for America. You create these divisions. You create this hatred, and you create this misconception of what's really going on. Anyhow, hey, what's really going on is kind of funny. And that goes way back to the 2020 election when some states, Georgia, Arizona, and others were trying to get some fake electors into Washington because they didn't necessarily like the outcome of their presidential race within their state. Some of them people involved have got themselves in trouble, but one person in particular thought he could outrun the law, and that would be Rudy Giuliani. Well, Rudy, after taunting Arizona law enforcement, got a surprise at his happy birthday party.
Live image, this one out of Phoenix, Arizona. The first defendant in Arizona's fake electors case has been arraigned in court. John Eastman pled not guilty to charges of conspiracy, fraud, and forgery. Let's pull up some images here. So, Eastman is a former attorney for Donald Trump and is accused of trying to persuade Congress not to certify the results of the 2020 presidential election. He's one of 18 people indicted in the fake electors scheme. Now, up until tonight, all 18 of those people had been served except for one, Trump's former lawyer, Rudy Giuliani. He posted this message earlier today targeting Arizona's Attorney General, Chris Mays. Let's look at it. Mays later sent out a message on X afterwards saying the final defendant was served, saying, quote, "Nobody is above the law." Giuliani's earlier tweet is now deleted. His political advisor, Ted Goodman, confirmed that Giuliani was served Friday night after his 80th birthday celebration as he was walking to the car.
Who's laughing now? Yeah, he thought that was funny. Yeah, taunting them that they had 24 hours to catch his ass, or there's nothing you can do about it. I've been outrunning you. And I guess they've been trying to serve him for a while, and he just avoids them, whether they're knocking on the door or whatever. He just figures if he can't serve me, yeah, they got his ass. Happy birthday, Rudy. Anyhow, still all kinds of crazy stuff going on. And I talked about this too. And in South Dakota, the governor there has a real contentious relationship, shall we call it, with the local tribes. In fact, a lot of them don't even want them on our lands. They want them don't get on our Indian land, stay away from our reservations. We don't want you around. And why would that be? Well, because she tends to want to perpetuate the idea that the local tribes are making a profit and or harboring cartel members.
Well, South Dakota Governor Kristi Noem is standing by her claim that tribal leaders in her home state are benefiting from drug cartels operating on reservations. Here's what the Republican governor told News Nation's Allie Bradley live on News Nation Now yesterday as she was visiting the southern border.
We have cartels in South Dakota right now today. I informed them that we had the cartels that had come over this border, had set up shop in South Dakota on our tribal reservations, where I have no jurisdiction, and they were operating and proliferating drugs and human trafficking from those areas.
Allie Bradley was able to get that interview during her live hit on the show. Now, those allegations are not sitting well with tribal leaders. 8 of South Dakota's 9 Native American tribes have banned or voted to ban Noem from their lands.
We believe that this federal neglect has resulted in the cartel and their affiliates moving into our reservations, an increase in overdoses, an increase in crimes and violence, a proliferation of drugs that we've seen in recent years, and even drugs and guns that are more present on our school properties.
Now, this press conference just this morning comes on the heels of the South Dakota governor's visit to the southern border yesterday, saying the same thing to News Nation's Allie Bradley in an exclusive interview. Noem saying live on News Nation, there are cartels in South Dakota right now, claiming without evidence cartels have moved their operations to South Dakota. Governor Noem alleging some tribal leaders are benefiting from cartel activity on their land.
Yeah, I can see where they may find that a little bit of racist. Without any real hard evidence, he's making these claims. Again, a scare tactic. And so what are they going to do? Take the lands away from the Indians again? What are you going to do, I don't even want to get into it. But, the hate that's in America for ethnicities, for religions, it's sad. It's sad. You can't see past an outer shell of an individual and to look at the inside, what truly that person may be like in their mind and in their heart. No, apparently not. Apparently we still have a lot of hate in our minds and hearts. It's a damn shame. And you've got leaders, hopefully they won't be elected, they want to perpetuate that type of stuff. Anyhow, we talked about a little bit about what's happening over in the Middle East. There's some tensions there. We know there's still tensions in between Ukraine and Russia. And now there seems to be some tensions growing even more between the United States and Russia. And let's call it still the space race. It's always been between Russia and the United States. China has gotten themselves involved lately, but in any regards, just recently, Russia sent up into space an anti-satellite satellite. About 2 years ago, they tested one of these. I don't know if you remember this, and they blew up one of their old satellites, and they sent all this space debris everywhere, called it a successful test, but everybody else was pissed off because now you've got all this space junk floating around that could be slammed into our satellites. Maybe they do, maybe they don't care, I don't know. But in any regards, now they've launched a satellite that could cause some real havoc for the U.S., and the U.S. is expressing some concerns, and maybe we should be a little bit concerned too, because who knows where this could go.
And the other topic, at the United Nations, U.S. representative at the United Nations talked about how last week Russia launched an anti-satellite weapon potentially into the same altitude as an American satellite. Is this a concern? Can you confirm that information is presented at the United Nations? And what is the message, if you have a comment?
Yeah, so what I'm tracking here is on May 16th, as you highlight, Russia launched a satellite into low Earth orbit that we assess is likely a counter space weapon, presumably capable of attacking other satellites in low Earth orbit. Russia deployed this new counter space weapon into the same orbit as a U.S. government satellite, and so assessments further indicate characteristics resembling previously deployed counter space payloads from 2019 and 2022. And so, obviously that's something that we'll continue to monitor. Certainly, we would say that we have a responsibility to be ready to protect and defend the domain, the space domain, and ensure continuous and uninterrupted support to the joint and combined force. And we'll continue to balance the need to protect our interests in space with our desire to preserve a stable and sustainable space environment.
Does it pose a threat to that government satellite, the U.S. government satellite right now?
Well, it's a counter space weapon in the same orbit as a U.S. government satellite.
Figure that one out. What's he got to tell you?
Yes, sir.
Yep. What does he exactly have to tell you? That, their satellite's tracking our satellite in the same orbit, the low Earth orbit they like to call it, right behind the U.S. satellite, which could be used for spying, could be used for communications. He didn't go into detail about that, but in any regard, they're concerned enough. And, I don't think you really want to take war into space. Have satellites coming around, and who knows what technology they can do. That kind of stuff really is scary, folks. You keep an eye on this one, what's going on before tensions boil over. Seriously, keep an eye on this one. Hey, let's get into one of my favorite parts. All of that's been my favorite parts. I've really enjoyed talking to you about some of this. The International Criminal Court sending down indictments on Netanyahu and Hamas, and the settlers even attacking the supply line that's going over to feed the people that are starving in Gaza. That's crazy. Keep up with that one also. You may have an opinion one way or the other, but you've got to have a positive opinion on the inhumanity. There's no reason to treat innocents like that. Also, the truth that was on Truth Social that was apparently taken down now. You can't find it. What's next for America? A unified right? Keep up with that idealism that they're promoting on, and just know, don't subscribe and don't invest any money. It's already losing, as I told you, $327 million so far in the first quarter, so it's not really a worthwhile investment for you. You might want to start seeking somewhere else if you want to put your money. And we talked a little bit about abortion, but anyhow, let's move on down. I've kind of skipped over to what is my favorite part. How about telling you who is our asshole of the week? Well, that privilege goes to somebody who has won it before, but she got seriously checked by who she called out, Marjorie Taylor Greene. And check us out what happened after she called Congressman Crockett a couple of names.
Tonight, Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett is not backing down, calling her Republican colleague Marjorie Taylor Greene racist after a contentious committee meeting. A late-night House oversight markup last night was derailed for nearly an hour after Greene mocked Crockett. You can see for yourself.
Do you know what we're here for? You know we're here about AG.
I don't think you know what you're here for.
Well, you the one talking about. I
think your fake eyelashes are messing up.
No,
what you're
ain't
reading.
nothing.
Hold on.
Listen.
Order.
Mr. Chairman,
That's beneath
would
even
you
you,
please
Green.
regain
That's beneath
order
even
of your
you.
committee?
Order.
Please.
There's a point of order. We have a point of order. Mr. Lynch.
I do have a point of order, and I would like to move to take down Ms. Green's words. That is absolutely unacceptable. How dare you attack the physical appearance of another person?
Are your feelings hurt?
Her words down. Oh, girl, baby girl.
Oh, really?
Don't even play. with
Baby
me.
girl? I don't think
we are going to
so.
move, and we're going to take your words down.
I second that motion.
Now, after that, there was a failed vote to strike Green's comments from the record, and she was allowed to continue her remarks. And that's when Crockett stepped back into the fray.
I'm just curious, just to better understand your ruling, if someone on this committee then starts talking about somebody's bleach blonde, bad built butch body, that would not be engaging in personalities, correct?
A what now?
Chairman, I make a motion to strike those words.
So you don't want to talk about
it.
Order.
I'm trying to get clarification. Look it, calm down. Calm down.
No, because this is what y'all do. So I'm trying to get
Miss
clarification.
Crockett, you're not recognized. Miss Crockett.
I can't hear you with your yelling.
You don't want
calm
me to
down.
Be,
Can you please calm down?
Don't tell me to calm down.
Calm down.
Because y'all talk
calm
noise,
down.
and then you
You're
can't
out of
take
control.
Because if I
Look,
come,
Chairman,
if I
can we
come
send
and
her
talk
outside to
shit
take a
about
break
her,
for 5
y'all
minutes?
gonna have a problem.
Okay, I hope y'all. So, yeah, after she was talking about Crockett's eyelashes, Crockett calls her a bleach blonde, butch-bodied bitch. Whew, that got contentious. That's what's going on in Congress. Again, there's why we get things done. They're either the little minions hanging out at the New York hush money trial, where I don't know why the hell they're there, or they're bickering back and forth about eyelashes and bleach blonde butch bodies. So there you go. And another week in America. Isn't that wonderful? Anyhow, hey, I got to get the heck on out of here. I really super do appreciate you spending your hump day with me. And let me get out of here on something, a little entertainment from a friend of mine and Mr. Rocky Affis out of Dallas, Texas. And song of his, he's called Living My Best Life off his new album that he just put out. So if you get a chance to check him out, please do. But otherwise, until next week, I am so out of here, and enjoy this video to lift your spirits a little bit after all that BS I just laid on you. But hey, again, I'm here to inform, not to influence. And I'm going to inform you this guy coming up can rock. Have a good week.